everyone. So sorry it's so late. I was trying to figure some stuff out with my phone. Had to uninstall that it was only partially plugged in, not all the way. So finally got it figured out and was able to get everything downloaded. So
I think Mindy says she's coming.
okay. So today in Utah, every school so last night we heard from Fast Forward and they said they were still going to have school. My kids chose, David slept in accidentally, and Mindy actually didn't, she had felt she shouldn't go, so she didn't go, and it actually ended up today, after school was canceled for the next three weeks, 2 weeks for all of Utah, and then the week following that is spring break. So Monday or Tuesday between 9 and 1 I need to get in and pick up Chromebooks for both of them because their school has not previously had Chromebooks for everyone. So they are checking out Chromebooks Monday and Tuesday for the kids, plus a week of breakfasts and lunches for each kid. So you can pick up another week of breakfasts and lunches. They won't have it the week of spring break, and then they'll reevaluate. So right now the only people leaving home from what we know for the next couple of weeks, other than, to go stream or do stuff like that, will be Stephen and Brett. Caden, I don't think, has heard yet on the interview, even though they said it here today. My guess is so, and like buying everything out, the works. Brett says that's an understatement. So there's that. I did see one of the biggest difference between cold, flu, and this virus is trouble breathing. If you have trouble breathing, then it's probably the coronavirus, which with my kids, all of them means that higher risk. Just because, so the EDS, there are governments announcing that people with EDS are in the high risk category. Italy was one of them. Italy has put out a thing regarding Ehlers-Danlos syndrome, stating that people with Ehlers-Danlos syndrome are in the high risk category, period. So, but even without that, my kids were, because it turns into pneumonia, and due to pneumonia. And what I remember of the time, so the sister I'm talking about is not that much younger than me. Let's see, she's about 4 years. Happened about that time. I am surprised I don't remember for sure, but I do remember there was a high concern for her life. Mom basically, my brother, younger than her, not just younger, there's one in between her and him, started having, and so they ended up transferring him. Was there with both of them at Primary Children's and he got better pretty home, and Her parents lived in Provo. It is not that far from Primary Children's, and continued staying there, or if they took everyone that wasn't in school and just left those of us. And then after she got pneumonia, every year for a number of years afterwards, she would come down with bronchitis without fail, every single year. So the doctors, when they hear that history, they're like, that's something's weird there.
Yeah, hi Jen, we're here. We're here. Sky's Wizards Unite game was acting up, and her phone took forever to charge, to get enough charge to reinstall Wizards Unite and go from there. I've waited for an hour for all assets to be downloaded. Once she reinstalled the game, like, really? So that's why we're so late right now, Jen, but we're here. Anything to say, Caden?
No.
Okay. Caden's got my phone on his phone playing Pokemon Go.
So, anyway, the doctors say it's way weird to have those ages come down with pneumonia. I mean, there's been other people who were, like, older, in their 60s or older, who have died of pneumonia. That's more in my family, too. That's more common. But to have people come to a regular hospital, but some of the best hospitals in the state is with tubes in their chest, and my brother had a tube in his chest for 2 to 3 weeks to try and clear out enough to beat the pneumonia. I'm not sure on my sister. I know she remembers that her arm was tied to a board to keep the IV in, and she couldn't use her arm, and it drove her bats. And so she's extra sensitive about that, about her arms being restricted, and she's always been because of that. Like I said, I never saw my sister while she was in the hospital, and not much was talked about why. But even to keep her in Primary Children's for a month, I feel is pretty telling, especially where we lived about between Heber City and Vernal. And so quite a ways away from the hospital, from Primary Children's, and they kept her there for a month. My brother, when he came down with it, we were living in Logan, and Logan Hospital is usually equipped to deal with pneumonia cases. His was just so bad, they actually transferred him from Logan to LDS Hospital. So that's considered highly unusual. And then where my mom had a uncle who died of it between 9 and 11, they're just like, okay, the uncle, maybe because of how many years ago it would have been, we could brush off. Maybe your sister, but the fact that your brother also came down with it and had, was that severe that he had a tube in his chest for that long?
Sorry if I was speaking so loud, Jen. I really am. Is that better, Jen? I don't want you to go deaf.
Oops. So my kid, with that, every doctor that hears that has said, yes, they are at high risk. I will say they have each gotten the pneumonia shots that were released 21 years ago.
Did I?
As a trial, and then they were removed from the market, and then came back later, a couple years later. And the reason I know they were removed from the market is...
What? What? What?
Are you saying pull over?
No.
Okay.
This is in the Battle League, Dad. Just the Battle League, the new season.
Really?
The Pokemon rewards is you get a chance of getting a freaking Metagross.
Anyway, so with Steven, I saw a picture of it, and the doctor said, because it's a trial basis and whatever, and it's just been released, it's only for high-risk patients. And I told him what happened with the family history. I think at that point it was just my sister and my mom's uncle. And he said, okay, they're high risk.
Laugh out loud.
Right.
I'm sorry for being loud on your TV, Jen.
He's like, the doctor said, okay, you're right, he's high risk. And he gave him the shots. Because it was a series of shots. And then, Danny was born, and I asked about the shots, and they're like, nope, they don't exist. They pulled them off the market, and I'm like, oh, crap. And then, a little bit later...
let's see if my luck's the same on this guy.
A few months later, my doctor asked me about it and said they'd come back on the market. And so...
One cast. Jen, you can see something by looking at this. My hunting season comes. I missed my birds and I missed fox. Now that hunting season's over, fox is really easy for me to get.
Anyway, so all of my kids did get pneumonia shots when they were little. Anywhere from toddlers to infants. Brett has got the pneumonia shot, but Ryan's not sure, our doctor's not sure if my series is complete or not.
Thanks, Jen. I tried one spell cast for him.
So,
not very effective, no?
But even with that,
I don't know what's going on, because the other day, Jen, I had, I think, 4 fox. I got up 4 for 4. I went 4 for 4. While I was hunting and all that, I was lucky if I got 1 for 10.
So one thing with the pneumonia shot, though, it's only good for certain strains. And so Ryan's been extra careful with the kids if they have signs or stuff. Even before this, he doesn't hesitate. Even if he thinks it might be pneumonia, he would prefer to send them in and get them a chest x-ray to make sure that they don't have pneumonia, than have them come down with pneumonia. So...
Oh.
The ones who had pneumonia was her sister, her younger sister, and her younger brother. She had 2 of them in her family that had it.
And my mom's uncle.
Her mother's uncle. So, yeah, that's what she's talking about, how she's high risk. Because if it ran in her siblings.
1 at 5, 1 is a teenager, a teenage boy, and a 5-year-old girl. And then my mom's
Hey, another
uncle,
fox.
My mom's uncle was
Let's try
9.
my luck here, Jen.
My mom's uncle was 9 to 11 when he died of it. So.
Oh my gosh, that's 2 for 2.
Why would we want a Tauros? Somebody explain to me.
Wow, I'm 2 for 2 on fox.
And I don't know why he keeps going after fox either. I don't need fox.
The challenge.
And to raise my level
I can't win in this.
Oh, well.
Then I suck.
Caden's playing the Battle League in the back, Jen, if you can't tell.
Yes, and they reset everybody's league.
So
Let's throw whatever.
There's
we're
one.
between so I don't know if we
Puppy,
can
pup,
go
pup,
after
pup.
that.
You need him.
So I don't know if Jen got on in time to hear. They've also declared Ehlers-Danlos syndrome. At least Italy has declared that's considered, that people with that diagnosis are considered high risk. So basically, without catching it,
You need to zoom out a bit so you can see the streams.
the longer we can go without catching something, if we can be healthy when we catch it, would be the best. So there's that. For anyone who's interested on LDS Church things,
Yeah.
they aren't holding any meetings.
Is that better, Jen?
And I think for the first time since Proxy Temple Work was in.
Worried about it, Jen, so.
So, what I'm worried about is when we go down, when one person gets it, all of my family.
So let's hope
is gonna
nobody
get
gets it, period.
Well, we're going to eventually. That's the bad thing. So I hope we can get it when we're healthiest, so that we can
Fight it off
and not be hospitalized. But we are, and
or
I hate to
procrastinate
say it,
long enough that you can get a vaccine for it.
Yeah, that would be good too. If that could happen, I will tell you that is one that I will, if they come out with the vaccine. As soon as they come out with the vaccine, I think our doctor's going to be contacting us. Because he's like, no, I do not, you guys are, he's already said we're at too high risk. He's basically made that clear to me. Even with the flu season, he's like, we really have to watch you every winter.
So has no one noticed that the new greenhouse, It won't be till next year, though.
Well, that's...
Oh, you mean for the vaccine, Jen? Yeah, you're right. It won't be till next year. They're at least, the last report I read, it's at least a year and a half off. I mean, they're just starting animal trials in some countries for it.
I will say this, the state of emergency that Trump declared,
The national
actually overrides the FDA to some degree. And they can push a vaccine once they've push it through faster. Let's put it that way.
Because it's now a national, declared a national state of emergency. Whole nation.
So it is possible that we will get it. We will be able to get it sooner. Also,
Why?
Honestly, if it gets through the healthy people studies, to make sure, through that point, even if I can't remember if you can get it in the second or the third stage, but there is a point where it's waiting to go finish through the FDA.
I agree there, Jen. They always do take a long time to get them done.
There's a point where waiting to get it through the FDA, once safety is pretty much diagnosed, you can get a compassionate use type declaration, and that would be for people who are at high risk extreme high risk. Well, I do believe, or from the sounds of it, from everything I've looked up and whatever, me and my kids would probably qualify for compassionate use of the vaccine.
Do you have the whole quest thing completed yet, Jen?
Yes.
Skye said yes. I completed mine yesterday.
That's gotta be painful.
I'm just on the bonus step now.
So, Caden,
Dragonite.
I don't know how
Caden is the
much
same
you're
place I
gonna
am.
do, with Wizards Unite, if you're going to do anything. I just need to know so that when we're ready, I can head to the fortress. Okay, so just let me know. Anyway, so it is very possible that me and my kids could get the vaccine before anyone else. And Stephen, you want to go to Walmart?
Yes.
He wants to look at the Legos.
Okay.
Not the Legos. I wanted to see if they have Black Series figures there.
Okay. Those actually probably would be there. That does bring up, anyway, so, and because of me and my kids, it's also possible that Brett and Caden, if he, or I don't know that Caden would.
Well, you're further than I am on that, Jen, but I've been working on it, but it's slow.
It's possible because of our conditions that Brett would also be given compassionate use.
Because of diabetes.
Diabetes, but not just the diabetes. They wouldn't do it just for diabetes, but to also give another layer of protection over the vaccine to me and the kids. In case for one of us the vaccine wasn't 100% effective.
What, Caden?
Really? I'm just thinking about all the companies.
Are you working on my quest?
I completed the quest for
Okay.
you.
Good. Did you claim it?
Yes. This is why I got rid of a battle trainer.
So, for Walmart, Brett was saying, or somewhere, I don't know if I read it or Brett told me, but I heard that they actually have everything sitting in their warehouse ready to go to the stores.
No, the drivers keep calling in.
Yeah, the drivers keep calling in sick, so they're having trouble getting it distributed. So, I can see why. I mean, I hate to say it, but drivers are, and yeah, fatigue and not necessarily the greatest health, especially depending on how long they spend in vehicles, etc. So, there's that. But that's one thing that's causing issues. Brett has no clue. Some people are saying they're suspecting that they get to work Monday and get sent
I doubt it, but you never know.
Yeah, I'm saying, well, you were saying some people were suspecting that. But
not management, no. This is all just rumored from other people.
No, I get that. So it sounds like it's kind of up in the air. Okay, I guess I had restart the app.
Really, Dad?
What?
I didn't need that at all.
Yeah, that.
Since I battled so much in Go Battle League, Dad, it was my rank. It gave me 4 extra TMs, 2 of each.
Okay,
team.
are we ready to go to Walmart or?
Sure.
Okay. Did you get things, the ins and whatever dined at for your dad?
No, I did not.
I don't really care for today.
You don't care? Okay. I just wanted to
You told me
check.
to do quests on Pokemon Go.
That's fine. I just wanted to check before
You have
I...
a quest complete, Dad.
Good, I can claim it tomorrow morning
It
for
was
my
easy to
Pharaoh seat.
complete. All I had to do was just battle in a gym once.
Yeah, I know. I knew I had just one more gym battle.
before I
Also,
head
battle goes your way,
to
please, so we can get that battle
the
together.
fortress.
Okay,
I
thank
did
you.
hear something about Pokemon Go dropped something that'll allow you to like battle in a gym or something like that. From
No.
home.
Go Battle League.
I'll go back, but it's not. That's Go Battle League you can do from home, but
What you can do in Pokemon Go is they did something special because of the canceling and all that. They're making it easy to play at home by practically giving you 30 instances
practically
for
it's
free.
1 coin.
Well,
Yeah.
actually, when it first came out, they had the bug. It cost 10.
Mm.
They knocked it down to 1.
Anyway, they also, with that, from what I understand, the incenses last an hour.
Yep. Incenses last an hour.
But
Lego's low. No, he's looking at the Star Wars Black figures.
Black Series.
Black
figure.
Series figures from Star Wars.
but
They come out with clone troopers, the stormtroopers. Are
That's
pretty
what
nice.
Caden's into.
The articulation's pretty nice, so you can display the figure. But I'm really starting to get into just collecting figures just to display.
He's like one of my friends I know he has a whole room dedicated to Star Wars. If Caden could do that, he'd do the same.
How many Lego Star Wars do I have down in my shelf downstairs, Dad?
Too many.
I've got like 12 clone troopers, 8 stormtroopers. I got Vader and Palpatine and Darth Maul and Grievous. Pretty much every bad guy in the Star Wars universe I have down there.
anyway, so reason I said the gym is because they said it was something other than the egg that they'd done to make it easier. But maybe it was the Go Battle League or
Go
something.
Battle League. It was just released today.
No, it wasn't not just recent.
I'm a new released Caden to where it was reset is what I'm talking about.
Here's your phone. I'm waiting for my battle to start.
Did you get the job or not? He hasn't heard from him, Jen, so...
I don't know. They said they'll let me know by today, but they have not.
You may be contacting him tomorrow or Monday.
Don't you dare. Power punch.
Wonder what?
Okay, I know what you got. Shoot. Alright, let Lapras take the hit. We'll bring in other Pokemon that's... Oh! Lapras survived. Okay. No!
You're funny.
He died right... Hello, Lucario, you fine? Hello?
So where
The heck?
Brett wasn't sharing very much. Huh?
Ruins Chamber 3, or where do you want to go?
4 or above.
Okay,
So
back out.
he wasn't fully watching. Where's
back out
the
now.
new greenhouse?
Let's go Tower Chamber 3.
You know what? Kill me. There's no way I'm winning that because you've already taken out 2 of my Pokemon. Alrighty, should we use a Glee? No, let's use that Lapras.
Because obviously I didn't have my phone. Brett had my phone, so no, I didn't notice the new greenhouse.
Should we use Entei? Who do we want to use? This is kind of a hard decision. Gladius is a fairly good Pokemon because of his psychic moves. Let's try that combo. I just need to win one more battle and I can get myself a free Metagross. Which, I don't mind Metagross. An encounter with Metagross is pretty nice. Alright, Lapras.
At Willow Park, okay.
Oh,
I
Lapras
will
is
watch
fun.
for it tomorrow.
She's got Thunder.
Now that I got This is done. I just need one more in. I said who cares about tonight about it, but I'm doing this fortress battle right now, and
Mud bomb.
all I need is one in.
We're fine. That's mud bomb.
I'll have everything completed.
Easy. Come on, hit me with your med bomb. Do it.
I don't want to be out all night, I'll tell you that.
Hit me with the mud bomb. Hit me. I shouldn't be saying hit me, but he's just hit me with his mud bomb. Hit me with the mud bomb again. Lapras is a pretty tanky Pokemon, so I can take a few hits by this mud bomb.
Listen to Caden, Jen, back here enjoying Pogo.
How many mud bombs do you get?
You're loud, Caden.
Sorry. You know what? Since you have mud bomb, let's make short work review. Just put on a shield, I guess, because.
Okay, I'll do that later because they want to hurry and get to Walmart and whatever, I believe.
Who are you picking?
I have one more in on the other two. I can do just like that to complete everything.
Oh, this isn't good. We'll get off this counter.
What?
I know, Jen.
What? What did she say?
It's the bottom one.
Again.
I'm driving.
Laugh out loud. I can hear that too. What, for your phone?
Yeah. So how do we want to do this? Do we want to drop Caden off and drive around? Do you want to go in? And him? Do all three of us go in and I try and put on one of my masks? It wasn't when I plugged it in earlier today. Or when I plugged it in when we got in.
Well, we lost. It was a fair fight.
Caden won't take that long, so I'll just run in with him.
Okay, so just drop you off and you two run in.
I need to win that one last battle, because if I don't win, I won't be able to get myself a Metagross, which looks pretty cool for reward. Just gotta find the right combo.
So, my dad, when I talked to him, he said, no, it's not 100 people, it's 20 people. And Caden was like, no, it's 100 people. And we got rereading it, and my dad heard the 20 because he's a branch president for
Over high risk.
Over a high risk group
I explained that to him too yesterday when I talked to him. Yes, it's 20 if you're in high risk. A group of high risk. He was like, this is really going to hurt restaurants and everything like that, is what he was saying. Because you can't have over 20 people in one location. That's really going to hurt restaurants.
Yeah. And you said, yeah, you can. It's 100.
But
It all makes sense now.
Are you guys getting out?
Yes.
Yes. Okay. I'll be back. It won't take long.
Anyway, so he heard the 20 because of the fact that he's over a high-risk group of people. He's the branch president for the retirement home that's by Sunshine Terrace. And so, being a branch president, his stake president, when he heard, contacted him and they started trying to figure out what to do about sacrament meeting, because obviously he has more than 20 people in his branch. And so they were trying to figure it out, and that was before the church canceled church services. And so, and then they quit trying to figure it out because of that. Yep, Fluffy. So they quit because when the church canceled, it wasn't quite as significant for my dad as it would have been, because he had been trying to figure stuff out. But because of it, he heard the 20 people or more, when actually it was 100. So, so both Caden and my dad were right, but it was interesting to hear, to figure that out, that, hey, you're both right. You're both wrong. So, but at the same time, technically, my dad's still in the high risk because he's over 60. Him and my mom are over 60, so, and they both have EDS. And then my mom has the extra high risk of also having the higher pneumonia risk. Because it was her uncle. So it likely came through her side and not through Dad's side. I mean, there's no guarantee because it was my brother and sister. But, yeah. So they are high risk, and there should be 20 or more people too. But at the same time, who knows? I will say, I'm kind of thinking we're gonna come down with it. It's just, or not eventually, we are. I mean, the problem with the coronavirus is everyone's going to come down with it in the next year or two. Period. Unless they can get a vaccine out fast enough. Everyone's going to come down with it. What they're trying to do is spread out the speed at which people come down with it. One, hoping that people can have a stronger immune system when they get hit, because then they can fight it off easier. Two, and so if you get sick, every time you get sick, your immune system's weakened for a while. Even when you're better, it takes a month or two for it to get back to full strength. So, take me and my kids, for example, where we just got over one illness, and you have, and we haven't beat, so you figure that we won't be able to fight it with our maximum, at the max, for probably 2 months from now. So we're talking in May before we could fully fight it at our max strength. So if we were hit with it, there is a higher chance we would get sick. If we had a normal body and we get hit with it in the next 2 weeks, we would have a higher chance of getting sick than otherwise. Even with the abnormal body, period, the longer you can go without getting sick, the less chance you are of getting hospitalized from it, because your body has a better chance of fighting it off. But then, so that's one reason they would like to push most of the infections from it, most people getting it, into the summer, with the hope that people's immune systems will be strong enough to beat it. Another reason is if they can slow the speed of people having to be hospitalized, they won't overwhelm the hospital beds. And the respirator machines and everything. And that is one big concern, is there's only so many respirators available in the country. And in area, each area has a limited supply. When those are used, if someone else then needs it, there's nothing they can do. They have to do some other means of trying to keep them alive. So there's that. And people right now are ending up on ventilators because of the regular flu and other viruses, etc. So if the hope is that if they can push it into the summer, when those viruses are no longer really around at all, or if they're around, they're not around very much. If they can push it to there, then they've got extra chance of having enough respirators for everyone who does get seriously sick. So those are the reasons they're trying to prevent people from getting it right now. And then there's also the longer they can spread it out, there's chances that some people, that they might possibly be able to develop the vaccine in time to help people, to at least get some people immune to it without having them exposed to it, and just having them exposed through the vaccine. So those are the hopes for why they're pulling some of the things they're pulling and doing some of the things they're doing. However, no one's been exposed to this vaccine or to this virus before, so their body has not created the antibodies to fight it off. That means everyone is susceptible. There are some people who are getting better without symptoms, but they probably got sick and their immune system was strong enough that it fought it off without causing symptoms. But they probably did get sick at least a little bit, just not enough that they noticed. That's one reason I say that the one we just got was probably not the coronavirus, and then with the fact it was not difficulty breathing at all ever with it, even more so. And that's also a scare because honestly there's been suspicion that me and Danny and Mindy and David all have asthma, and maybe Steven. But there's also question, is it asthma? Is it just the way our lungs react to things because of the EDS? Is it just ribs out of place have caused those symptoms? no one exactly knows because it doesn't act like normal asthma. But people with asthma are at higher risk. So it's kind of scary for me just because when it does hit, we're going to have to be watching every one of the kids pretty closely, of me and the kids, and we are at risk of having to be hospitalized from it. So I would guess, and then on top of it, we've got David's issues. Because if he comes down with it from the sounds of it, we may actually end up then dealing with another ear infection. And we've basically been told one more ear infection and they schedule surgery. So that's where we're at, is this could push him into the category of, okay, now we're scheduling surgery and putting tubes in your ears. And the reason I wasn't after that juice, I was after this. The reason he's at risk of that is because he gets an ear infection at least once a year. His ears hurt, I would say, 1 to 3 months out of every year. So that's not good. Especially with this going around, because that would lower his immune system. And he doesn't want to have it scheduled and miss school. His whole reason, there were 2 reasons he had for not wanting to stay home. Because basically, Fast Forward had told us that with their help, if we felt we needed to, just keep him home. Go ahead and keep him home and they'd work with us. The day before, the governor closed everything. So, but David had not wanted to do that. He doesn't want to miss the learning, and he wants to make sure he's getting really good grades because he would like to graduate a year early. 2, he doesn't want to miss his friends. He wants to be able to spend time with his friends. So, to schedule a surgery, his last surgery, they actually they went in to just do tubes and figured they wanted to just look and see if his tonsils had come back. And if so, take them back out because that can cause problems. And they had grown back. So I'm sure they would do the same this time. Hopefully they wouldn't have grown back, but he's really worried about it taking a week or 2 to recover enough to go back to school. So we really, the longer we can postpone getting it in the family so that immune systems can be developed the best possible, the better. Yeah, we'll see how long it takes them. They usually don't. They usually do not grow back. I think it's about 1% of people they grow back in or something like that. And he ended up in that group of people. There they are.
Holy crap!
Whoever was saying to hit him or whatever, Jen said she would have hit because he keeps asking to be hit.
What?
Anyway.
Have you been in Walmart lately, Jen?
Did you look at the aisles to see if
It is a skeleton. This store is literally a skeleton.
Poof! No toilet
like
paper.
I said, to see if there was anything with one?
There
or
is
anything?
nothing.
Okay.
For food-wise?
Uh-huh.
Bread's gone, tortillas are gone, everything.
Now I gotta spin a
Chips are gone.
I gotta go spin a
I'm not really worried because we have food at home, but yeah.
Yeah, there we go. Oh shoot, how many eggs did I have?
It was Caden who kept saying hit me.
I was going to say, I didn't think it was Brett. And I had kind of tuned out what Caden was saying, I'll be
I
honest.
tuned out too, Jen, I'm being honest, but I need one in.
Okay, we're headed, he needs a, he needs a Pokestop,
I need more Pokestops is because apparently while we were walking around Walmart, I hatched like 3 eggs.
So,
And I just hatched an Aerodactyl from, I don't know where.
we will see what happens with Brett's work. I could see them saying to a certain degree, well, if you are around high-risk people, don't come in. But then, and we'll just use your vacation. But I don't want Brett to do that because that would quickly leave us with no pay, whereas if they close the plant or something like that, they have to pay at least 32 hours.
Jen, kitty food was gone too.
Dog food was too.
Kitty food and dog food, all of it gone. I mean, it's the first time I've ever seen pet food aisles empty. So, yeah, people are worried about their pets, I guess. And oh my goodness gracious. I mean, they had the really expensive brand cat food that no one wants to buy. And dog food that hardly anyone buys, but all the generic stuff, cheap stuff, Walmart produces, Roy and all the
In other
special
words, it's
kitty,
darn good.
it's gone.
I did what I did the other day and bought the dog food from the... But of course, I wonder, so if anyone needs cat or dog food, I do know where you probably can still get some.
You stupid app.
But yeah,
Here in
Walmart,
the valley.
Jen, just
And
letting you know.
it's cheaper than Walmart.
Yeah, it's right across from where you work, Jen. Steve Reagan's farm store, the store right there. You can get generic cat food for dirt cheap compared to Walmart.
I will say...
It's a lot cheaper than Walmart.
I will say, though, our vet warned us that it's
Male
not,
kitties are not good for them.
Yeah,
They're all good for male kitties.
It's a bit more of a risk for male kitties. It's not that it's no good. It's just it's a bit more of a risk. They could develop
Urinary infection, kidney stones
that then block the bladder and can kill them.
Yep, that's what happened to Mindy's kitty.
at least the cheapest brand. I don't know, they do have some other brands there, but the barn cat food that they have there, he said he's experienced.
We get the special kitty brand. Yeah,
that's what we usually.
That's what we usually get too. I mean, they had the really smaller bags of it. They didn't have the big bulk bags. The bulk bags of special kitty was sold out.
Yeah, you gotta wait for like 2 weeks till.
If it's a female,
old male cat.
Okay. Then you'd want to look at. I don't know if they have some of the higher. I think they have some higher quality ones there at Steve Regan too. Just I know that one. Or just I haven't looked into it really. Because Mindy said she won't buy from there, period, no matter if it's one, if there's a better quality one or not. So I haven't bothered to look.
And you're good.
I'm good too because I've collected everything.
But what I was saying is so our vet said he'd had that Mindy's cat wasn't the first cat he'd seen with it. And
He's
in fact,
had cats
his
himself.
own cats have had that issue from that
Male
food.
cats.
He said it doesn't seem to happen in female cats, but it does in male, and they have kind of changed the formulations. But he said it doesn't appear they've changed it in the barn kitty food, or the barn cat food from Steve Regan, and so he doesn't recommend it.
Guess I should have gone earlier. They're stocking every shelf now as we speak, but it's going to take them all night to stock Walmart.
All night.
It is going to take them all night to get every shelf full. I mean, the can's gone. Ramen, pasta, anything to do with dry food, gone.
So I would say probably about midnight to 2 a.m. might be a good time to go in, just because
Except for the junk food. They left that alone.
Just because
I don't know, Jen. He didn't really say why it just affects the males either.
It has. He did.
Didn't
too.
have the.
He did too.
Can
actually.
Stop.
Can you stop and all? So male cats end up developing. Male cats, period, have a little bit of sand, as he called it, in their urine. It's part of what helps them mark as well as they do. And that cat food has nothing in it to help combat that.
The sand.
Whereas the other cat foods have something to help balance the pH and everything to try and help prevent.
I agree with you, Jen. Sleeping all night long, I think that's what it's saying.
Mm-hmm. To try and help it prevent turning into kidney stones.
That one that lasts for a hard on.
So that's why.
Are they open 24/7?
Walmart is open 24/7.
Walmart is open 24/7, yeah.
That's why midnight to 10 would be the best time to get in, just because I would bet around 10 to 11 as much so that they can get more on the people start waking up again. You're going to get a rush.
Crazy. The checker at an express checkout, she did say today was better than yesterday. People weren't hoarding stuff near as bad as they were yesterday.
Probably because a lot of people
tomorrow's going to be bad. It's because people are going to.
Not necessarily. It may be a lot of people have already got their stocks.
Yep.
It's just going to be a wait and see. At least in Logan School District had started distributing computers and stuff to the elementary school too. So how are they doing it if they have computers? The teachers are required. In fact, they have through Cache County too, because Allison said she had to create online lesson plans for the next 2 weeks.
Yep.
So that's how. It's all been moved online. Basically, every class in Utah is now online. And I say every class because USU...
Sorry, I got Fox here.
Fine. USU has been moved online. BYU has been moved online. Weber has been moved online. They don't have to apply for the waiver to not have kids have to attend later into the summer or during spring break things. That's why Mindy and David's school is telling everyone to come pick up Chromebooks Monday.
Which we're shocked about because, yeah.
Last we knew, they didn't have enough Chromebooks for every student in the school. And that's what we'd been told. It was, because I act...
What?
And two, not all of their students...
Complimentary gift?
...are in a position...
It's potions. It's right on the corner.
They didn't offer Chromebooks for their students.
This photo to me.
So now they have enough. I'm hopeful they'll give them each one because that would just be easy.